Hello world, we're back with part 2 of Torchlight 2 beta. We're playing as the engineer and we just finished our first dungeon. Our first optional dungeon, I should point out. This quest was just lying around on the map and I found it, so I went through it. It was short and fun. The next step we're gonna do is pack our little pet up with as much crap as possible, because I can't be bothered walking back to town. So we'll just click this little button and send him away. Takes 30 seconds. Really convenient. Oh, another chest. This was a very lousy chest, to be honest. Let's move on. And now we wait, apparently. There's a lot. There we go. Oh, urns with skeletons in them. So we're staying true to the old action RPG logic that if someone creates urns, if someone is a pottery master and decides to show off their stuff, we must destroy it. There's my pet pack with my money. I'm quite sure he's stealing some of the money every time he goes away. But what can you do? Need some, I suppose, I need to give him some credit for actually being a fucking bird that flies into town and talks to people and sells their stuff. And another level up. So I guess that one of the more impressive parts, that this bird actually has the capability to carry as much stuff as I can load on him. Which didn't say much, but I can load him up with a lot of stuff. And he can also sell it. He might not be the best haggler so far, but let's see, what do we put our next point in? The blast cannon, but it doesn't use up any charges yet, and we should put something in that uses charges. A force field with axe absorbs a lot of damage. It might be good for me to use. Or this, that electric burst that generates more charge. I don't need more charge, I need to get rid of charge. There we go. Oh, and these are little traps that I shouldn't be sending my pet into, I suppose. Let's build up some charge and try this little bubble out. Okay, he's a little bit high up. Okay, I shouldn't be standing in these traps, they really hurt. Let's put on our little bubble. Our pet gets a bubble as well. So now we're bubble boys, or bubble buddies. And I love this knockback. It's just, I know it's probably not something PETA would approve of, but I do enjoy launching wolves, or what are these? Cats. Just seeing them fly a little bit, it's satisfying. And there goes my bubble due to traps. Thankfully we have enough charge to put up another bubble. And oh, here's our quest with Stenbron, the elite smith with an enchanted lightning mace. Looks more like a hammer, but close enough in these games. And another bubble. One down, and he disappeared behind all the loot. This is Gunbren, also an elite smith with a fire sword. He's also dead. Dead. Any questions? 10 points for getting that reference, by the way. And there's our quest item. Maybe we should turn it in as well, I suppose. That's where we have to go. And our town portal. There we go. So I'm not sure this really counts as that much of a quest hub, because you get 2 quests in it in total, and then when you're finished with the main quest, it's a main quest and an optional quest, and when you finish the main quest you just move on to the next area. Let's see, do we need any of this? That one I can get later and put vitality. We have points that we can put in, and then we can use it. Upgrade. So that's the interesting part about Torchlight 2, I suppose, that you find most of the quests, the majority of your side quests will be found on the map rather than in any hub. And you just have to go exploring. I think I did a full playthrough of all the side quests in another as the Outlander, I think I was. So another loading time. There we go. And it's funny that it doesn't show the loading screen. Loading screen. Yes, the loading screen. Also known as a loading screen. The Fraps doesn't show the loading screen for some reason. It just shows you standing there, which is interesting. And here we have the throwback to Diablo 1 that no one liked, and it's still in here for some reason. Not as bad as before though, and that's the shocking enemies. That just, as soon as you shoot them, they just fire away lightning bolts all over the place. Oh, and there's a champion Rattlin, as useless as the rest of them. The Balog An. And he got killed by a bird. And there's our heal bot, which I keep forgetting every time, and for better or worse actually, because when I forget the heal bot I almost die. When I have the heal bot up I'm nearly mortal. So I hope they will balance that one out at some point. Another level up. And there we go. And we put this in. Can we put no? Let's see what this gives. It gives knockback resistance and damage reduced as well. That's not a bad idea. We'll have that. And moving on. And these raise undead. So it's interesting that they've decided to stick with the old formula and just keep it. I mean, I don't mind it. I'm a nostalgia nerd, as you will see on this channel later on when I start playing playthroughs. But it's a bold move because people tend to get tired of these things. I mean, personally, I'm not tired of this. I love this game. I think personally, it's better value than Diablo 3 in the end, from what I've seen. Oh, a pet master spell. But it's a bold move to not change the formula that much. I mean, they've done changes, they have improved. I'm not gonna say anything else, but they have at the same time kept a lot of things for better or worse, like the abilities, which it's not the same move that Blizzard does, that they try to innovate in every time and do everything different every time and always try to improve, even though they're not always improving. There's a lot of traps. It's almost as if I wasn't welcome here. Okay, this might be a little bit rude. You're storming into this little place when they have these nice little campfires going on, probably sitting there with their little drums going doom, 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 doom. And you just storm in with a fucking cannon going, hello, hello. But in the end, I can't argue against it because it was well worth it. I got XP. Still rude though. I'm not gonna say anything else, but worth it. And I just realized... Oh, they come from the huts now? It's almost as if people were living in the huts. And you die. I'm not sure if I should go looking for more side quests, which I could do, but I also want to move on. It feels like I'm already way overpowered for this area and everything just dies when I walk by it. Oh, a chest. So that's kind of the thing that I feel is a little bit out of balance, the fact that I know there are at least 2 more dungeons in this area, that I will be playing through them on the Outlander, I think it is, where I go through every single dungeon I can find. But right now it feels like I've done one, haven't even done one dungeon here, I've only done the quest and clean up a little bit, and I already feel overpowered. It could be that I'm an engineer as well, and the engineer just is a little bit over the top, but for better or worse, let's move on at least. And this is the Wellspring Temple, which is the last dungeon of the main quests in this area. Which is, as far as I play on all the classes during the first playthrough, only the engineer. Later on I played through the rest of the beta as well, because I didn't have time to do all of them, simply put, and I had to pick my favorite. And being overpowered is clearly my favorite at times. Hello, Lusmog. Oh, feels like I've forgotten something. We have the bubble and we have the heal bot, right. See, that's the problem I see here. I don't have the heal bot up and I almost die. I put the heal bot up and now I'm soon at full health again. In fairness, I did use a pot as well, but I'm not gonna move from that full health due to the bubble and the heal bot. He just keeps pushing up my HP as needed. Okay, my bird doesn't have the same opinion, clearly, but... And we can't put there, we can put there though, so let's put that point and we have another point as well. And splash damage. Oh, you have a lot of fire going on. This is Kelthorn, the champion Stormbjornen. He's explosive and casts fire spells. He's also very high in HP. I'm just gonna keep firing. I'm in no position to judge because I'm not taking that much damage, to be honest. And this is why I might feel a little bit overpowered, to be honest, because I'm pretty much the same level and okay, now I'm taking damage, never mind. As long as I'm living in my little bubble, like I should have played a paladin back in WoW, to be honest. This would have suited me so well. Either way, oh, I'm not even their level, I'm actually level 9 and they're level 11. So there's 2 level difference and I'm still not even bothered. Let's see, do we have any other upgrades here? No, not really. I'll put this on the side instead, and oh, wait, there we go, and there we go, and we fill his inventory up again, and that one we can put in our weapon for now, and send him home. So yeah, these are level 11 on level 9. I suspect it might not be as much of a out-leveling issue as just being overpowered, and I hope they fix it, because as much as I love just being immortal and doing this stuff, I can see it getting a little bit dull in the future. Whether you played a few levels, when you played a few quests and get into the middle of the game somewhere and you're still just stomping through like this, I don't know, I'm not a fan of it. I mean, I'm still gonna play it, I'm still gonna be overpowered, but I'm not a fan of it. I don't approve of it. What, you never seen a hypocrite before? Let's adjust. And let's keep moving. We're not gonna explode too much. No, we're not gonna explode too much. Well done, me. We're not gonna explore too much either, because it's a little bit too easy. So if anyone at Runic watches this, please nerf, I don't know what, the bubble, I suppose. The healbot's fine, it doesn't heal that much, but the bubble takes way too much damage before it breaks. Purple skeleton. I keep missing him other times. Let's see, can we give it to him? Oh yeah, we can. So he gets a little bit of health up. We're bubbled up again. I have to say, this feels very much Paladin World of Warcraft style, except I don't have a melee weapon, which I could have chosen. That is all these bubble, bubble, bubble. Bubble, bubble, toil and trouble. Moving on, I'm quite sure there's also puzzles in these dungeons, and they seem to be rather random from the times I played through it. Like, at one time I had this huge puzzle with force fields that forced me to go through them and use switches to change around the whole grid. And again, if you don't go looking for it, like we're not gonna do, you won't find them. They're on the map, but they really don't care if you find them. Which is an interesting take on how to make a game like this, because I mean, normal game logic would dictate that you might want to show everything off as much as possible and be, ooh, look at us, we are so fancy. Because in this scenario, Runic Games is apparently German, and they just don't. They don't give a damn about what you find or what you see in the game. If you just want to play through it and go straight to the boss, go right ahead. It's not their problem. If you want to explore everything and see everything the game has to offer, you better go looking for it. You have to show some dedication. I don't know, it's both good and bad. On one hand, they're not selling the game very well. in terms of showing off the goods. In fairness, what they're showing off without having you going looking for it is still fun. There's nothing wrong with it. But they're kinda... There's so much to find that you just don't see if you're not interested in looking for it. Which... it feels weird to have a game like that. I don't know if it's a bad thing, really. We'll see what happens with it, because I'm really excited for a game, and I didn't know about those puzzles when I did this playthrough, so clearly they're doing something right. And what do we put the point in this time? Can we put it in more damage or more attack speed and stun chance rather? So, to be honest, what I'm most excited about, which it's a weird thing that I don't care too much for the story about this, because it seems just like, well, one guy is getting corrupted and he stole the heart of some other boss that we saw in the other game, and now he's moving on with his life. That's kind of what I got from the story so far. But what I'm most excited about is, first of all, the old school gameplay, second, the full mod support. I can't stress enough how excited I am about the full mod support for a game like this in today's day and age. Torchlight 1, we saw new classes, we saw new pets. The ferret is in particular one of those modded pets. And oh, boss time. And there's just a lot of things going on, and I think that when you allow creativity to be a part of the game itself, as in letting people be creative and use the tools you used, where do we go now, and what are you supposed to be? Oh, hello. This is General Grell, and he's a badass. So, what was I saying? When you allow for these things to happen, and let just freedom run wild, we've seen it in a lot of games, and it's always a success if the gameplay itself is fairly good, at least. I mean, the ever glorious example of Minecraft, which is not a game I play, will never play properly either. I own the game because I got hyped, which is pretty much the reason I played that game for a bit, but I never bothered with it again, and I'm not that kind of person who likes to build my own world and spend a lot of time just to see it be nothing in the end. I did invade a company I worked for, had a Minecraft server, and I did invade that server and build a Great Wall of China straight through the map. I admit to that, but that's as far as my interest with Minecraft goes, that you can build a lot of stuff, but if no one can see it, who cares about it anyways, right? I don't know if that makes me just an attention whore or a true artist, one or the other. Either way, it will be interesting, because Torchlight 1 had a lot of things going for it when it came to the mods, and people did a lot of stuff, and hopefully the mod support in this one will be even greater. Maybe someone just remaking the entire Diablo 3 for people. I would play it. I would play it twice. That's how much I'd play it. So, let's get back to the fighting here. This is apparently the boss, the last boss, and he has a whole lot of HP. He has mechanics as well, as in he shoots this AoE stuff, which in my bubble I don't care too much for. And he has his ground slam, or quake attacks as they're called. It's also explosive. He also summons these minions, which are the real pain here, to be perfectly honest. So, it's an interesting. It's not an interesting take on the whole gameplay because it's the same gameplay, but it's an interesting choice to keep these things that are just standard even when it comes to boss fights, because that might be Torchlight's biggest downfall. And I'm just repeating myself right now that keep staying true to this old school stuff is good in one way, but it might be bad in the same case because people want something new and something fantastic. And honestly, the storyline of Torchlight 2 isn't going to carry them anywhere. People like the first Torchlight, this is clearly a good choice to do again, but it doesn't have that thing that the Diablo series had, that people actually bought the game for the storyline and were clearly disappointed by the third one, but never mind that bit. At least they had a full proper storyline, and at one point or another they had some pretty decent writers as well for it. This turned out to be a very long fight, to be honest. I'm not doing much front-up damage. I'm doing a lot of AoE damage, and he's not many. Well, he has many minions, but he is just a one-hit. Despite his size. Despite his size, he's still just one hit. So this takes its time. So let's just speed this up a little bit, shall we? See if we can finish him off now. Come on. And yes, there's a cut there. The reason for the cut is because I had apparently not plugged in my computer to the wall socket and the battery was running low, and it killed the game just when he died. So, dexterity, barbarian only, nope. Mysterious cannon, ooh, the mighty mastiff. I really like this gun. It looks the same as my old one, but I really like this one. I need this one. There we go. Yes, it has the same effects as well. I'm a little bit disappointed of the so-called unique weapons right now. I really wanted something unique looking as well, but can't have everything, because now I have two unique guns that look exactly the same. Although this one is a lot better, so that will be fun to play with. Let's go through all of our loot and get rid of it. There we go. This probably isn't the most exciting thing in the world, but as I'm looking at it, I realize as well that this game has one thing that Diablo didn't have going for us as well. The fact that our looks are more individual now, and a chest. An item that you put on will actually look like the item that you put on, rather than having, as in what Diablo went with in Diablo 3, having tiers of looks, which is just weird.
I don't know who you are.
Let's move on here. We will be doing a full playthrough with all the quests in another playthrough of I still think it's the Outlander. I'll get back to that, but
Apparently things have gone from bad to worse.
we're not doing that at this point.
Whatever was making